Zebec says this is almost here. What do I mean by this? They're of course talking about the super app. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, but they recently made this post, and basically one of the highlights that they made in the post is how the super app is almost here. However, people like to say, well, bro, haven't you seen ZBCN being around 40 times lower basically than 10 cents? Well, yeah, I have, but I can't deny that this is a pretty cool thing if it were to happen. Now, people may be thinking, okay, what is that? Like, why do they even care about the super app? Well, it's basically just the way I view it, a way to kind of consolidate a lot of the aspects when it comes to Zebec just in kind of one place, so to speak. Let's say, for instance, aspects of payrolls or the cards and all this, just kind of in one central location. That's the way I view it. It's like, let's say, a company having many headquarters in different locations, and then they suddenly make like a central headquarters, like the Sears Tower in Chicago back then. It's kind of like that, the analogy I would say. However, if I take a look at Zebec overall, it seems like, of course, people are just very focused on the price of ZBCN, but I think if they can actually do the super app and they say it's almost here, I think that would set a good tone when it comes to Zebec in the future, right? I think it would set a good kind of impression because during an altcoin season, if let's say it even were to hypothetically happen during the cycle, we'll have to wait and see. But if it were to happen, people usually are going to take a look at the track record of the project. They're going to take a look at what the project did. Because take a look at Cardano's native token called ADA, for instance. Take a look at what that did in 2021, but it's not like Cardano gave up years before that. It's not like it did that whatsoever. It kept doing its thing and then it reflected positively later on. So when it comes to Zebec, sometimes people could view it in that way, right? They could take a look at what the project has done historically speaking, and sometimes that affects it maybe during an altcoin season. So I don't think it's such a bad thing overall when it comes to Zebec doing this. Had Zebec done this, let's say, when it comes to having the super app, right? Let's say it did it back in June of 2025. It would have been a completely different sentiment. Keep in mind, ZBCN had a market cap of over $500 million, slightly, back in June of 2025, without the fundamentals that I see as of right now, because Zebec now has an aspect of ISO 20022, and they're closer than ever to doing the super app. This was not a reality back then, around 8 months ago. It just wasn't. And still it was able to do that without an altcoin season. So what could it do if there was an actual altcoin season now with improved fundamentals? This is why I'm still waiting, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. The missing ingredient, it seems like, is a hypothetical altcoin season. The fundamentals are already there. The amount of holders, when it comes to ZBCN, it's still around 90,000. The exposure is already there, somewhat, right? Because it is arguably, as of right now, the fourth most popular project within the global trade and finance space, within this space. And also, it has backers like Solana Ventures and as well as Circle. Not to mention, Zebec overall has an aspect of Solana. It already has the fundamentals there. Now it's just a waiting thing for me, hypothetically maybe, because I already see the key ingredients. There's just one missing ingredient, which is a hypothetical altcoin season, and I just haven't given up. When it comes to ZBCN, actually, when people like to tell me that I should stop thinking about 10 cents, now, the reason why I don't want to stop thinking about that is because if I take a look at, for instance, 10 cents, the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would be around 9.8 billion. Now, the thing is, even if we consider, again, the current circulating supply, 9.8 billion, like that's not going to be breaking any records anytime soon. We've seen projects with far less do hypothetically maybe a lot more. Even if I just ignore this example and I use like Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, I mean, Shiba Inu reached around 40 billion in terms of market cap in 2021, and also that year, Dogecoin reached over 80 billion. Like, I don't think around 9.8 billion is so ridiculous, in my mind at least. However, also on top of that, my perception is that in theory, right, the closer something is to a floor, maybe the farther away the ceiling is in some hypothetical cases. The thing about ZBCN is this. People sometimes just don't want to leave when it comes to the project. So when I take a look at that, I certainly do not want to be the one that leaves. Now, this is just personally my case, right? I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but if I exit when things are having a pullback, I pretty much at that point have realized all of the downwards movements, right? That's it. Now, if I'm holding, who knows? Maybe it could have a hypothetical recovery. We'll wait and see. There's no way I could control that, though, because the market's going to do whatever with or without me. But I'm just saying, if I just leave, that's it. Game, set, match at that point, because I've literally went on the ride of the roller coaster all the way down, and I leave. That's it. All the downwards movements, that's it. I've just locked it all in. However, if I stay on the roller coaster, sure, it could go down, but maybe it could do this as well, right? Maybe there could be that moment where, hypothetically, the roller coaster goes back up. We'll wait and see. But this is why just generally, I just haven't given up. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, this is just my mindset as of right now. But I wanted to make this update to talk about Zebec because a lot of people thought I forgot about it, but I clearly haven't. But I'm still waiting, and that's pretty much about it. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Mali the Captain.